That's on life, mama. That's on life. Welcome to NFL Week 14. There have been some major changes in the leaderboard. Check out our ticker right below. Let's get right into it, man. On Thursday, you have Dallas Cowboys at Detroit. Pop is going with the Cowboys. Surprise, surprise. Along with Southside Al, Dread, Ice. Cowboy fans are coming out. Baller is going with Dallas. The rest of us, Puma, Windhawk, and Drake and Yinzer Mama are going with Detroit. Why are you going with Dallas now, man? I thought Dallas were done.
I thought so too. I wouldn't say that. I think they're still done. But looking at the levels of competition, right, and how this thing works, Detroit has looked very bad lately. They look very bad. They're missing some key players on defense. They've not been moving the ball like they should on offense, and Dallas has been moving the ball pretty well. And I just think because of the factor that the way Detroit has been playing, that Dallas might be able to hang with them. So that's why I'm choosing Dallas. I know I wanted to choose Detroit because they were at home, but I'm a little nervous what Dallas might do on a Thursday night because anything can happen. So I'm gonna roll the dice and go with Dallas.
Yeah, I was going to go with Dallas, but every time I do go with Dallas, they disappoint me, and I feel like a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I'm not going to go through that disappointment. But I think Detroit's coaches on emotion, and hopefully he'll learn his lesson this week and not coach on emotion and read the room, read what's happening in the game. You can't go for it on fourth down all the time. I know you believe in your guys, but you have to be able to read the game and not give up momentum like he did last week against the Green Bay Packers. Next game on tap, Seattle at Atlanta. Everybody's going with Seattle. Nobody believes in Atlanta, and I tend to agree with them. Atlanta, their coach is on the way out. Rumors are spreading that this was the last draw, losing against the New York Jets in that NFC South. Next game on tap is Tennessee at Cleveland. So everybody's going with Cleveland except No, Dread. Dread is going with Tennessee.
Oh.
Windhawk had a big week last week. I guess he says, you know what? It's time to turn on the turbos. So he's going with Cleveland, a game against two rookie quarterbacks. One has more experience, game experience than the other, but I have to go with Cleveland, the Cleveland Clowns in Cleveland. Next game on tap. This is an interesting one. Chicago at Green Bay. Papa's going with Green Bay. I'm going with Green Bay. You have Southside Al, of course, he's going with Chicago along with Dread. You have Windhawk going with the home team, Green Bay. Ice, you're going with Chicago. Baller's going with Chicago. Yinzer Mama's going with Chicago. And Drake is going with Green Bay. Now, you keep saying every week, along with Southside Al, this looks like a playoff team. This looks like a playoff team. We talked about how Philly didn't look good coming into this game, and they're winning kind of ugly, and it really got exposed this week. Why are you picking Chicago?
I think they're on a roll right now, and I'm not really that impressed with Green Bay from what I saw. I saw Green Bay, of course, defeat Detroit. I'm not that impressed by them at all. I think that the coach for Chicago has really had these guys amped up, and I think it's a winnable game. Defense is trying to step up a little bit. They move the ball, don't make too many mistakes, and I think now they're feeling confident they can play with anybody. And I think that's why, actually, even though it's on the road, I think they're playing with a lot of momentum. They're in first place, and I think Chicago can win that game.
All right. Next game on tap is Washington at Minnesota. You have me, Southside Al, and Pop going with Washington. They should have won that game against Denver last night. And Mariota, oh man, my heart broke for him. You have Dread, Windhawk, and Ice going with Minnesota with the rookie quarterback. And also Yinzer Mama and Drake going with Minnesota. Ballers going with Washington. I'm going with Washington because I believe that Mariota can run that offense. I'm not believing in Minnesota. They're just discombobulated. J.J. McCarthy is out. Don't know if he's coming back. And that rookie quarterback, the way I saw him play yesterday under that pressure, he just looked like he was out of his element and he had no business being there.
Yeah, the reason why I chose Minnesota is I had to look at my reports, and reports say that Minnesota is doing everything they can to get McCarthy out of concussion protocol. They're pushing hard as hell. They could not go back to what they saw before. So he's slowly but surely practicing a little bit. And I think if you practice like on Wednesday or something like that, then they can clear you. They're doing everything they can to make sure that man is back on the field. So with that being said, because they struggle so mightily with this rookie quarterback,
Yeah.
I think that McCarthy, the team will be so glad to see him. The team will play better. And he doesn't have to do a lot. They're gonna do a lot for him because they're so dead. They know how bad it can get when he's not there. So they're gonna do everything they can to get that man back out there. So that's worth a win for me.
All right. Next game on tap is Miami at the New York Jets. New York Jets coming off a big win against the Atlanta Falcons. And Miami came off a bye week and they messed me up last week. They beat New Orleans and they look pretty good. So Pop, myself, Southside Al, Dread, Ice, Windsor Mama, and Drake. We're all going for Miami. Are people feeling Miami right now?
I wouldn't say that. I think it's the easier pick to select Miami because of the struggles of the Jets. Even though the Jets won their third game last week, it's hard to it's really a struggle for them to play good football. And Miami at least has a running game and Tua shows up. Their defense has played in spots at times. And I think they have enough to beat the Jets, and that's why people are doing it almost like by default.
All right. Next game on tap is New Orleans at Tampa Bay. New Orleans burned me last week and they burned me bad. Everybody's going with Tampa Bay. I did not expect Tampa Bay's quarterback to play last week. He came and played and he played really tough. Played really tough, like he wasn't hurt at all. He was hurt the previous week. I thought he would be out, but he got me. Baker, you got me. Next game on tap is Indianapolis at Jacksonville. This one really surprised me in how people are picking. Me and Pop are going Indianapolis as well as Baller. We're all three, and Southside Al going Indianapolis. He has to because he picked them to kind of go to the Super Bowl. Everybody else is going with Jacksonville. And it seems like everybody's kind of feeling Jacksonville late in the season. Why is that, Ice?
Well, they won a couple of tough games from that standpoint of showing people that they really can step up and win games that are on the line. And I think Indianapolis has shown that's a little chink in their armor, right? From the standpoint, was it the way that they played against Pittsburgh and a couple other teams like that too? And I think people are looking at like, really, are they getting the same quarterback play that they had before? So with that being said, and Jonathan Taylor is every other week. So it depends on what week where he's in. Did he play well last week? Or will he come back this week? And I think Jacksonville is really feeling good right now. As I mentioned before, you picked up the number one wide receiver via trade from the Raiders. And he's been, I think it's Shepard. Shepard's playing real well for them. Different options. Of course, you have the running backs and defenses coming along too. And the quarterback's having fun as well. So I think that's why most people are going with Jacksonville at home.
Yeah, and Sauce is out and Jones is
Yes.
hurt. He's on one leg,
Mhm.
but he still kind of played okay, but you can tell he was really favoring that leg. Let's see if they can heal up a little bit and come out and win that one. Next game on tap is Pittsburgh at Baltimore. And we have two people going with Pittsburgh. You have Baller and Yinzer Mama going with Pittsburgh. I'm not going with Pittsburgh. Everybody else going with Baltimore. Aaron Rodgers looking like one of the guys on the Home Alone film with the bloody nose getting beat up by Kevin. And I said this at the beginning of the season when they picked him up. This was not going to end well. They're talking about firing Mike Tomlin. I know the group in Pittsburgh, the fans want him gone. But I think the Rooneys will get in his ear and say, you know what? 9-8 is not going to make it. So, and we had the lead going into this game. We had the lead against Baltimore. Cincinnati even talking about coming back and getting in the playoffs because Pittsburgh couldn't seal the deal. Why are you picking Baltimore? Despite, I don't even know if that was Lamar Jackson playing last week.
Pittsburgh is really showing desperation, and they're showing a lot of desperation in their play. They're desperate to play. Not sure about the health of Aaron Rodgers, and then he was healthy. They really didn't look that good either. I think Lamar is like, well, We just kind of finding ways, to try to win and get back into the mix. And they want to do just enough to handle business to be in the playoff picture. So with that being said, they're kind of coming up the ranks. And I think they're like, hey, we win another game or two because right now they're tied at the top, right? With Pittsburgh or game off or like that first. So with that being said, I think Lamar is going to give everything that he has. And I think they can beat Pittsburgh. That's why I chose Baltimore.
Okay. Next game on tap is Denver at the Las Vegas Raiders. Everybody's going with Denver. And if you ever seen this season, the Las Vegas Raiders, you know why. They are not a good team. They fired their offensive coordinator who was sending in plays that they haven't even practiced, or sending in plays that maybe he was scratching on the laptop or whatever, or the Palm Pilot. And, I don't know why teams keep hiring him. I'm not even going to mention his name. You all know what we're talking about. I'm not sure. But yeah, we don't have to waste time on that. Denver is still winning games ugly. I think they've been behind in 10 games and they've always come back to win those games. They know how to win ugly, close games. And Coach Payton, he's doing it with Bo Nix, and those guys are playing tough. So I don't think that they will let down in this Las Vegas game. If they do, man, you know what I'm going to say next week. If they do. Next game on tap is Cincinnati at Buffalo. You know what? Me and Drake are going with Cincinnati. Everybody else is going with Buffalo. And I believe Cincinnati is going to run off some wins trying to get in the playoffs because it's there for the taking. They're not eliminated, so why not? You're going with Buffalo, even though they're shaky. But Pittsburgh gave them momentum last week.
Yeah, but I think they did give them momentum. I think the issue though is the Bengals look real good with Joe Burrow being back. But I think the problem of it is the factor that Buffalo has to start to win if they want to stay in contention and also kind of prove that they're one of the better teams in the league. Yeah, I don't think they can just keep dropping them like this. Maybe they can, but I don't know. You asking a lot. If Joe Burrow brings the Bengals back and they make the playoffs to be one of the greatest comebacks ever,
They've done it before. They've
yeah,
done it before.
I mean, I'm not fighting you on that at all. But I'm just going to tell you that Buffalo is desperate. Buffalo has to have this. You know what I mean? They have to. They really need this real bad, and it just makes you wonder: can you rally the troops again? Plus, two, it's in Buffalo. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be freezing. I don't know. I have to err on the side of caution with Buffalo because Cincinnati scares me. I think Joe Burrow is one throw away from being out again. That's all I'm saying.
It gets cold in Ohio, doesn't
It does not like Buffalo, bro.
it? All right. Next game on tap is the Los Angeles Rams at Arizona. Arizona, you burned me bad yesterday. You burned me bad. I thought I called the upset. Everybody's going with the Rams. I'm I'm holding my nose based on Matt Stafford's performance yesterday. He was throwing the game away. And those of you who know, and we've talked about it, throwing the game away, yeah, that's what he was doing. So everybody's going with the Rams in that one. I can't explain them. You think they're the top team in the NFC, and they let the Bears get that top seed. So, maybe temporary. I don't know. Next game on tap is Houston at Kansas City. Houston dropped one on Thanksgiving Day. So you have Southside Al and Dread. They're going with Houston. Everybody else is going with Kansas City. Give me something to believe in, Ice, about Kansas City, bro.
Well, CJ Stroud is back with Houston and they're really feeling good. You want to feel good about KC right now. KC, we know that Mahomes is not a quitter. They know in order to just make the playoffs, they have to stay in contention. And this is the type of game that the question is Houston good enough really to hang with them? And that's what I mean, granted they won the game and you're like, oh man, CJ's back, but we know that motor's still running over in Mahomes, and he still got some pride over there, and he's not gonna just lay down. The teams that have beaten them lately have really pushed the envelope. You either got to score a lot on that too. Can Houston score as many points as they do? Dallas was able to get by them but that was in Dallas. But at home, the Chiefs are a little different, and Mahomes just kind of had that energy. And Kelsey is due for a breakout game. He is, and I think they will get another running back healthy back again. And I just don't think Mahomes is going to lay down without a fight, and I think they'll win the game based on what they did last week.
You saw that they were trying to get to Kelsey last week. They were trying to get the ball to him. And you always said, and we always said in previous shows, the tight end is always open. But Kelsey is not open most of the time. But when he does get open, it seems like they will get the ball to him. Teams know that he's a dangerous weapon, even that if he's slowed down a little bit. Next game on tap is Philadelphia at the Los Angeles Chargers. So this is kind of like a toss-up game between the group. Most people picked Philadelphia. I went with the Chargers as well as Pop went with the Chargers. Everybody else is going with Philly. I just feel like Philly is pretty much run its course at this particular point because that tush push or whatever they were doing, they try to do it every fourth down. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And I would think that you would mix it up a little bit and pass out of that and try to do something else different, a variation of it. But it just seemed like they're just not a strong team anymore. They just don't have the will to kind of turn it on when they need to turn it on. They have the weapons, but they just don't have the will.
I can see your point in that, but again, my sources tell me that Herbert had surgery on his hand. Said he broke his hand, and they're trying to push him back right back in so he doesn't miss a week. I don't know about you. Have you ever had a bone in your hand or anything like that? And you're playing football and you're playing against the defending Super Bowl champions. Yeah, I don't know about that one. And the way that Herbert has played with a healthy hand at times scares the hell out of me. So I'm gonna roll with the champions, defending champions, just because now you got was it Trey Lance will be the quarterback.
And I believe in Trey Lance. I really do believe in Trey Lance.
I think Trey just needs the right opportunity.
Yeah.
But that prophecy will not be fulfilled versus
I'm rolling with Trey. This is his opportunity. And I'm rolling with if he plays. If Herbert doesn't play, I believe in Trent.
I think you'd be better off with Trey, but I got a feeling Herbert's gonna try to play. He's gonna mess the whole thing up.
Folks, those are our picks. Come back next week. We'll have week 15 picks. The race is getting really, really weird, and the NFL is even weirder. See you next week.